the best day of my life. Like, I will tell this story to anyone who will listen.
We've been talking for an hour, we just can't find the end.
Hey guys, it's Morgan from the beach classroom, and today I'm doing a sit-down video on how I got my teaching job. So I'm a kindergarten teacher in Cleveland, Ohio. I'm actually down in Florida right now. Of course, the waterfall in the pool just decided to go off. I don't know. So hopefully you can hear me. But a commonly asked question I get, hold on. Okay, sorry, I went to try to fix that. It's a little bit better. I don't know. Anyways, a commonly asked question I get is, how did you get your teaching job? How did you get interviews? Just anything along those lines on my Instagram, which is the beach classroom, because where I'm from, it's hard to get a public school teaching job in the suburbs like I have. So I went to college for 3 years, which needs to just be a whole nother video. When I was writing out this video, I was gonna include that, but it's just such a long story. So my first year out of college, I went on some interviews. I went to this one interview where they asked me all these questions about like a testing assessment that they give. It's not like a commonly known assessment or anything, and I just felt like that interview was so weird. But the other interviews went like fine or whatever, but I didn't get the jobs. So I accepted a long-term sub position in the district where I student taught. I student taught in kindergarten, and it was in the same grade level, same school, and so it was fun. Like, I was partners with my cooperating teacher, and then the girl came back, and that same district wanted me to long-term sub in first grade at a different school, so I did do that. I feel like that was such a good experience. I didn't want to be a long-term sub. I obviously wanted my own classroom, but I learned so much. Like, I learned so much in that first grade long-term subbing position. So it just was very beneficial, and I'm grateful for it. Also, in between those long-term subs, like, there was only a few weeks between the two, and then there was like 2 weeks at the end of the one. The girl had come back for like 2 weeks of school at the end. All that time I subbed like around in different classrooms, and I feel like that was a good experience too. So fast forward through that year, I did have a few interviews. Anytime I would apply to somewhere, I would call the HR and say who I was, I just applied, and are they accepting interviews. I just decided to do this because I felt like I wasn't getting any interviews from when I would like submit an application, and every time I did that, I got an interview. So that's just my advice to you if you're trying to get a teaching job. So I did get an interview in Royalton, which is where I'm from, and how I said that I subbed after my long-term subbing positions at the end of the year. I subbed one day in Royalton, and it was my old high school principal who was the principal, and I don't know, we were just talking, and he said that he's gonna have a kindergarten opening, and I was like, I would love that. And so he did give me an interview, and I was super excited. So he was really nice. He called, and they went with someone else, which I respected, and I was sad because I would have loved that because I went to Royalton, but everything happens for a reason. So we are nearing the end of summer. Like, this is getting scary for me because I'm like, I still don't have a teaching job, you know? I'm working at the daycare that I worked at for years, a summer camp, full-time, whatever. And I get an email from another old principal who actually works in my district now, and he had known that I was looking for a teaching job. So he told me that there was a kindergarten opening in their district. So I wrote back, I was like, I love kindergarten, and I attached my resume, and I sent it to him. Well, he sent it to the principal, and I got like a generic email from AppleTrack, which is just an application website, that like said I could choose an interview time. It was just very like just a system email. So I picked an interview time. I didn't tell anyone I was going to this interview besides the people that I worked with, because obviously I needed coverage. And I went to the interview. I got there early. I dressed how I wanted to. All the other interviews, I always wore clothes that they said to wear to interviews, and I never felt comfortable in any of those clothes. So this time I wore what I wanted. I still wore something professional. I wore like a black teacher, like lower, it was like not long, but it was like to the knees dress. I wore a cute little blazer and flats, and I felt comfortable in it. And the interview was okay. The people were nice. There was 2 principals and someone like in the admin, and I lost my train of thought. Obviously, I'm losing my train of thought now. I lost my train of thought in the interview, and I literally said that. So I was like, I don't know if this went that well. So I left, and I was just like, hey, it is what it is. I went back to work. I went to Harry Buffalo with my coworkers, and I get a call from the principal, and she's like, hey, like, I want to offer you a second interview. You're the first choice of times. We're interviewing from this time to this time. What time would you like? And I was like, oh my God. So I picked the first time, of course, and she said she would email me everything I needed to do. So she emails me this long thing, like I had to like teach to like a class, and there was a struggling reader or something, and what was I gonna do for interventions or something. So I told my friends, I'm like, I gotta go. I leave, I go home. I called someone. So my cooperating teacher had just had a baby, so I called the other girl on our team, because remember I like worked there as a long-term sub and stuff, and I like told her what was going on, and she was excited, and we kind of like talked through some stuff like that I should do, because obviously like I wanted to nail this. So we were kind of just talking about like what would work best. So we decided that I should do word family. So, you know, I think we were just texting actually. So I was like, all right. I got in the car, I went to Walmart, I bought all new laminating stuff, I bought ink, I bought brand new scissors, I bought clothespins for like station activities. I went home. Luckily, I know how to make stuff, so I've been making stuff. If you've been following my stuff and you want to take my Teacher Pay Teacher class, I've been making stuff that long ago. So I make these stations. They're word family stations. They're like frog themed or something, because I remember I had little lily pads. I'd have to try to find that. That'd be interesting. And I laminated and cut and printed all night. I stayed up till 4 a.m. woke up. I remember pulling into my schools, like in a neighborhood. I remember pulling in and thinking, this is my school. Again, I got there early. I wore what I wanted. I wore this cute like black maxi skirt. I still wore flats because I wasn't sure what their policy was on open toe shoes, but I wore like a tucked in black top with a cute necklace. And the interview was in like a 5th grade classroom, and it was me, 2 principals, a Title I teacher, a 5th grade teacher, and a 2nd grade teacher, and their smartboard didn't work, and I was just like, it's no big deal, I'll just show you what I got, you know. And because I think I had like a whole presentation and stuff, but it was fine. I had prepared all my resumes and cover letters and everything that they needed, like the lessons that I was going through. I printed them all out. I made 10 packets, and I put them in like nice file folders, and I passed them around. I did my little like lessons or whatever, and then or like told them what I would do, and then they asked me questions and I answered them. I don't know, whatever. So at the end of the interview, they asked me if I had any questions, and I'm not one to be like bold. For example, like if they were to ask me how much I should make, I would never answer that. Like, so they asked me if I had questions, so I did ask if there were people targeted for kindergarten or Title I, because I really wanted the kindergarten job, and normally I would never ask that because like, of course, then they asked me, well, which one would you rather have? And at that point, you know, in my mind, I would think to say like, well, I'm grateful for either one, but I knew in my heart that I really wanted kindergarten. And that was like one of the first times that I've ever kind of like spoken up like that. And I said, oh, like, I think I said, you know, I'd be happy with either, but I really want to teach kindergarten. So they were nice. I remember the principal like commented on how the file folders were cute, and I was like, oh, you can keep them, you know, in my mind thinking like, I hope I can get this job. And they were like, are you sure? I'm like, of course. Because I wanted, you know, I wanted the job, whatever. I didn't really care if they kept them and I didn't get the job, but I let them have the file folders. So I want to say that the first interview was on Monday and the second interview was on a Tuesday. I think it was something like that. So all week, you know, I'm like hoping to hear back, but I don't. The following Monday, I get a call while I'm working, and I check my voicemail, and it is the principal of the school just asking me to call her back. So I go inside and I call her back, and I'm like nervous, and she's like, hi, are you driving? And I'm like, no. And she's like, okay, I just wanted to call to see if you wanted to be the newest kindergarten teacher at Memorial. And I was like, yes, literally the best day of my life. Like, I will tell this story to anyone who will listen, like the whole story, who was in the interview and everything, because it was truly the best day of my life. It was something that I really, really wanted. It was just so exciting for me. Until I get married or have kids, like, this will still be the best day of my life. And it will always be on there just because of how I felt getting it. I didn't tell anybody that I was interviewing because I'm a very superstitious person, and my mom asks a million questions. She always puts like bad vibes on me. She'll always like be like, I don't know, like, make sure you do this, make sure you do that, did you do this? And like, it just puts me in a bad mood, so then it just gives me a bad vibe for the whole situation, and I'm very superstitious, so I feel like it ruins it. So I decided not to tell anybody besides the people I was working with. So it was so fun getting to call everybody and be like, guess what? Like, I'm a kindergarten teacher. I got a job. So it was just an awesome, awesome, awesome experience. I am so grateful for it. Like, every year I think how grateful I am for my job. I knew that I wanted to work in a public school, and I just had my heart set on it. So if you're watching this video and you're thinking like you're in the same boat as me and you don't want a long-term sub or whatever, like, I get that, but if you truly want a certain job, like, don't take a different job just because it's available. Like, I could have worked in a charter school. I didn't apply to any Catholic schools, and I like really didn't see any openings for that, but I just didn't want to do that. I didn't want to work in a charter school. There's literally nothing against it at all, literally. I just knew I wanted a public school in the suburbs. So that was a long sit-down video. If you like these sit-down videos, like, comment down below, because I'll make more. They're easy to make. And that's it. Subscribe if you're not subscribed. I'm posting videos every Saturday now. I used to do Thursdays. I couldn't keep up with it. Like, I don't know, I just went off. But Saturday is our day, and I will see you next Saturday.